Okay, wanted to hop on here to give you an update. I know a lot of you guys are concerned about the threat for severe weather as we go here through the next couple of hours, overnight tonight. People are wanting to know if they're going to be able to sleep. I'm watching radar trends and watching what's happening out west, and we're going to talk about it in just a minute. I'm going to do a radar tour first, go over the flood watch. Any questions that you have, you can post them here. I've got the comment section here live, so I can see what questions and things like that that you may have. I'll be able to answer those. So I do think that there is potential tonight to still see some severe weather, and I will show you. And it's very conditional, but it's something that I'm watching carefully here tonight. So I don't want you caught off guard if something does happen, but I also want you to know that I'm not trying to overhype this if this doesn't happen, okay? So once again, I'm going to show you something out to the west momentarily. I'm going to show you the current radar trends. I've kind of done an analysis on everything. It's something that's got my eye, and I'm watching it carefully. So let me tell you what. Let's do the radar tour first, and then we'll go from there. So there's still a light. Actually, there's lightning with it. A little thunderstorm over Wilmington right now. That is not severe. Hang on just one second. And then we have other areas of showers down towards the Madison area. And you're probably seeing a few sprinkles into parts of northern Kentucky. But that is nothing to be of concern here this evening. Give me just one second. I had lost my tablet, and I've got it back now. Sorry about that. My tablet really helps me out when we're doing the live updates here. So, okay, I'm back. So here's those showers. Sorry about that. Down towards like the Carrollton area, Campbellsburg. These are very light showers that are currently going on here at the moment. So I'm going to zoom this back out, and we're going to go first of all to the flood watch. Let me throw that up. See, that was the lightning strike there just a few minutes ago over in the Wilmington area. Flood watch still in effect. They did cancel it for Jefferson, Jennings, Decatur, and also for Trimble County. So you guys are no longer in that flood watch, but I still think there's potential here, localized potential for some flooding if what I'm watching out towards the west develops, okay? So, or moves in this direction. So here we go. And when I show you the radar, you see a monster bowing segment to our west, okay? I'm going to zoom this in a little tighter, okay? This line is producing 70-mile-an-hour winds. Some have been higher than that in Illinois. This area here, there's been cloud cover today, but there hasn't been a whole lot of rain. So it's for right now, 70-mile-an-hour wind potential, I think will go to about Jasper at the moment. There is potential that this could go a little bit further off to the east. Some of the data has suggested that this evening, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. The one thing that I want you to know is looking at some of the data that I have, and I'll switch over to the other view here. This is the dew point. So dew points are in good standing here in southern Indiana, and especially as you go towards Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. And then the other thing is when we look at the potential energy in the atmosphere, and I'm going to tell you, I haven't looked, so we're going to see what that looks like together. Look at that. You've got a lot of energy here to work with, especially here in northern Kentucky. So typically these type of systems like to follow where that energy is. And that energy goes right into Cincinnati. So it's something I've got to keep a close eye on here overnight tonight. And this is Cape here. This is not the dew point. But the dew points, I'll put that back on, overlay there. But you can see this is some short-term radar analysis that I'm looking at here. And this thing is moving towards us. And it's something that I've got to keep a close eye on as we go through the evening here. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind it is looking to be weakening some, but it's something that I'm going to have to continue to watch because it could put a couple warnings in our far western counties. It's a slim chance. There's a marginal risk of severe. That slight risk of severe weather goes to right about Scott County, Indiana, and then it goes into a marginal. You can see where they think that line's going to cut off at, but it's something to kind of keep an eye out, especially if you're in Jefferson, Scott, Jennings County, and Indiana. I think there's a potential where you could see some severe, and then we'll just have to kind of see how further east this can stand because it's a decent Boeing line of storms. So to answer your question, a lot of you guys are saying what's going on. I saw somebody ask me in the Vincennes area, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds, okay? So 70-mile-an-hour wind potential getting ready to move into your area. So seek shelter. I forgot who it was who posted that or asked that. And you can see some of these storms. Look at that. Look at that. Producing the potential of 90-mile-an-hour winds. So there's a potential. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a potential for this to hold together. To our far western counties at this point. If this thing is moving off to the east at about 60 miles per hour, that will bring it into the North Vernon area around 11, Scottsburg around 11:15 time frame. So if it holds together, that's when you'll see the potential for a Boeing segment for 60-mile-an-hour winds or higher. Right now, they're being warned for 70 to 90-mile-an-hour winds. That flashing polygon there means that's a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So it's something to keep an eye out on here as we go through the evening hours. And I just wanted to look as I'm getting some of the newer data coming in. Okay, so it's got that line and it sags it down south towards Louisville, towards Madison and Scottsburg, keeps it together. We'll have to see what it kind of does here locally. It may go a county to north into northern Kentucky and Ripley, Dearborn counties, but I'm here. I'm gonna watch it. Let me show you this other product here. So this is what the future radar is showing. I have to zoom it out a little bit on Storm Vision HD, and you can see there's that line. This is at that's showing 11. So you're already, here's 10 o'clock. So you're already The line is right there. So let's say, so that's now. Here's 10. Here's 11. Here's 12. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And that line continues to push south. So if you're in, I would say this corridor right in here, this is going to be the zone. I can actually, let me switch this over. Click this. I would say this area is where I would watch for the potential for 60-mile-an-hour plus winds here this evening. So I don't think it goes towards Cincinnati. I think it stays just to the south and west of Cincinnati. But I think we're going to have to watch it. It's something that we'll watch on the radar very carefully here this evening. So that's going to be, if we get anything tonight, this is what's going to come. I will say here within the last little bit that wind there has started to come down on the velocity. So it's obviously kind of running into some of that lower energy that's in this area. Higher energy just off to the east. So I'm watching it. It's something that, you know, the models did not have this line this far north, you know, all day long. And now we've got a line here that stretches near Vincennes, goes through about Evansville. You can see how it's starting to become outflow dominant, and you'll get more storms that fire along that. So we may be seeing already the weakening trend occur along this. I do see a new warning. I just want to see what they're putting that warning out for. 60-mile-an-hour winds. So they are noticing the weakening of the winds there. So I've got to watch it. It's going to potentially impact maybe the far western counties, you know, maybe Jefferson, Scott, Jennings, something that I would kind of keep an eye on. It's very, very slim chance that it makes it in that area I highlighted further east, but it's something you got to kind of keep an eye on. The flood watch, in my opinion, I don't know if we really need it, but if storms do move and continue to move east like they are right now, then we would definitely potentially need it, but they would be moving pretty quick, so they would lower that threat. But this is the show that you got to watch here. If you got your radar at home and you want to watch it, this is what you're going to watch here. And we got to wait to see when that dive to the south and east occurs. Right now it's moving more northeast, and we also have to see how long this thing holds together. But that's what I'm watching tonight. So I wanted to hop on here and kind of tell you your tornado threat's very minimal tonight. Very, very minimal, even if it exists. We're under a marginal risk of severe. That's a level 1 out of 5. So, and far western parts of Scott County is under a slight risk level 2 out of 5. So when I'm talking about severe, I'm talking about this complex here likely dying out, but still producing some strong winds on our far southern and western communities here if this thing holds together. So there's 3 things I want you to get. This more than likely will not get to Cincinnati. If it does, it's a very marginal conditional threat for some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. If it's in southeastern Indiana, far northern Kentucky, this will likely be the potential for maybe a warning or 2 for 60-mile-an-hour winds. There could be maybe a hail. I don't think there'll be hail potential at that point towards midnight. If you're in Scott, Jefferson, Jennings County, I think you stand a elevated chance to see maybe a severe thunderstorm warning. But even right now, the Storm Prediction Center, and I just want to look. They don't even have a mesoscale discussion on this, so you know they're thinking this thing's going to weaken out too. But I just wanted to show you really what I'm watching here tonight. If anything was to go severe, it would be this. We do have a little more heightened instability in place locally here. It's weaker as you go into this area here. It's just a matter of, can this thing stick together with what instability is out there. It's not zero when you look at it, and I'll show. I can show you that. You know, you're talking, you know, over 2,000 units of Kate value in this area here, and you can see that bowing out. It's going to go in that direction. So that's why I say I think Jefferson, Jennings, Scott County probably will see that better threat for some severe weather, and we'll see how it interacts with what we've got here with some of that light rain around right now. So it's something to watch, something that I'll keep an eye on. And then I'll tell you what, I have started to, and I'm going to try to pull this up here on a whim. I'm starting to watch the potential for maybe some severe storms tomorrow. That was something that I was working on earlier. See, I want to just show you. We're going to go to 9 o'clock. I want to show you how bad these computer models have been. I mean, the data continues to just be terrible. This is what it should look like right now, okay, on the computer models. And even the HRRR, which pulled at earlier this afternoon, this is what it says now should look like. It did have that bowing feature there, but it had a lot more in the way of showers and storms. And it says at some point, just like, I guess it was a little more on top of it. And it shows those storms kind of diving to the south a little quicker. But the newer run, let me go back. This is actually working in my favor. I'm just interested to see if it's going to dive south, because you got a little more energy up in this area. So that's why let me just check something else. We've also got that front, you know, draped here along the warm front. It could be just kind of merging with this whole, just kind of doing an analysis on a whim here with y'all. We'll just watch it. It's just something that I got to keep an eye on here through the night. And this will be a very limited threat. Like I said, this is going to be very limited. Scott, you can see, Scott, Jennings, Jefferson. It could go up into, you know, these areas. If I wanted to really target an area, that's even too far east, but let me clear that off. Kind of in an area like that, really. That would probably be the localized area where I think a warning could happen tonight. Okay? I hope that's clear as mud. Or, you know, I hope it's not clear as mud, but doing the analysis, looking through everything, you know, I think that there's still stands a chance you guys in southern Indiana could get a warning or two here as this line's bowing out. And you can see it here once again on Analyzer. And these polygons, because they're a little, you know, the black line here is a little bolder. That means that those are heightened warnings. The lighter ones are the lesser of the severe thunderstorm warnings. So, okay. And then I did want to show that threat for tomorrow real quick. Give me just a second. I want to explain what I was seeing there. And this is a great time if you have any questions or anything. let me know. Tomorrow afternoon, around 6 o'clock, the data suggests some hailers in the area. So, little disturbance coming through here. See that there? Last time we had something like this, we had hail, we had tornadoes, we had 2 tornadoes, I think, or maybe 1. We had 2 tornado warnings for sure. But you can see future radar is definitely saying, hey, there's going to be some potential for some hail with these storms. You might want to watch it. Also watching the potential here for, this is showing lightning. Let's see. And tomorrow afternoon, we've got, sufficient winds aloft here, a mile above your head, that could, get a couple of these warnings. The only thing that I would say we lack would be a little bit of instability further south. Further north, we have more instability to work with. So that's tomorrow afternoon, where I think we could see some severe storms. Okay, so I'll answer some of your questions. Like I said, I'm watching the radar carefully. I'm watching what's out to the west. This is going to dive to the south at some point. We've seen it on multiple data, on several different, model data. It's just when, and so I think it might actually be trying to make that move now. Yeah, you can see within the last frame here, we were going northeast, northeast, and then now we're starting to, boom. So it may be already making its turn to the south. And that would be good for you guys here in Jennings, Scott, and Jefferson. So I came on here just to kind of do an analysis with all y'all in the real time here to kind of see everything and see what the potential is. And here's the severe weather risk again. And actually it just got scaled back even more. So that tells me from, it's even down a county. So towards Louisville, they're thinking in this area, that's where that line will dive, and it's already starting to make that dive. So I think that's probably, I still think Jennings, Jefferson, Scott County, don't be surprised if there could be a severe thunderstorm warning tonight. But I think you guys further north and east are going to be fine from this particular system. And then you see some more storms back out to the south or the west. Those are going to dive down towards Nashville. And then this is what I'm watching for tomorrow right here. That is going to be where we see the potential here for some hailers that move in. Okay? Boy, look at all these severe storms here. I promise I'm gonna work on I'm going to your questions next, okay? I just want to look at these. Several tornadoes on the ground near Huntsville, Fayetteville, along I-65, Athens. They've had it bad down that way all day today. It's been rough. Okay, so I'm going to zoom this out so you can see the radar a little bit further there. All right, I'm going to answer your questions now. It does look like considerable damage now on that storm. Further off to the west on that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go through these. JK Buck 76, you had the best coverage of all last night. You did better than I appreciate it. It's a one-man show here. It's I have the radar here, radar here, radar here, radar here, radar here. I got radar, different products going at all times. So I watch what's going on. And one of the things that I like to do is really dive into the data and show you guys, what I'm looking at, and to kind of explain it so you can get a better understanding of how difficult it can be sometimes, to get, you have everything in front of you, and sometimes it can be difficult to get some of these storms, the threat right. But my thing is doing live analysis of the radar and explaining it in real time, and you guys learning that kind of helps you guys, make better decisions, and also I've noticed it causes less confusion and frustration if you kind of guys know more of the why behind everything. Dearborn County, Michaela's asking, Dearborn County need to prepare tonight? No, I think you're going to be fine. I'm just watching the line. It's looking like I said, that it's already trying to make that dive south. And that's the only question that I have. Once that thing makes its dive south, I'll quickly know which counties are going to really be impacted. And like I said, I think Scott, Jefferson, Jennings, those are the only ones that I think, from looking at everything, would be my main concern. There is energy over here, okay? But this thing is going to have to eventually dive south. So I got to watch it. That's the thought anyway, diving south. That's what we wanted to do. Versailles, Joyce, hello, from Versailles. Brandon, Henry County. So Henry County's right here. You're in that spot too, where you could see some damaging winds, up 60 or up, depending on what's going on when this comes in here. That'll be, we'll have to watch that. You could see the potential for a 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here this evening, or higher, depending on what happens with this line. Heidi, Florence, Kentucky. Tracy, I think I already answered the question for the storms for tomorrow. Those are going to be hail threat, damaging wind. That's going to be on the table for tomorrow. And I wanted to mention on this post, and I posted earlier today, that my Venmo, I don't do any advertising or anything, but I do accept donations and stuff for, to keep the radar programs, the live streams and things like that clean and working and organized and all of that. Any donation or contribution is awesome. It really helps me out, because a lot of this stuff is not just free. It's providing a service, and I know a couple of you guys were talking about subscription, but I also want to make sure that people have the ability that can't afford a subscription to be able to get the information that they need. And other people can help out in other ways. There's almost 10,000 of y'all in here. Anybody that I'm almost there, 10,000 followers, and I hate to be that person that's like, oh, come on, give me more followers. But I'm almost there, and it's kind of like, we're probably maybe 30, 40 away, I think, at this point. So if you got anybody, let them know. Tell them to like my Facebook page. So Teresa, Jefferson County, Madison area, this is right here is what I'm watching. And when is that going to dive south? If it dives south here, your threat's not going to happen. But if it dives here, you might have some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So got to watch this. This is going to start to dive at some point to the south. And it looks like over the past couple of one frame, it looked like it was trying to. And then now it still looks like it's just making a path to the east again. So, we'll watch it. Ray's asking about Dillsboro. I think you're going to be good. Some rain. Just keeping an eye on that line. Susan, anything for Warren and Clinton counties tonight? You're going to just see some light rain potential. And then as we go into tomorrow, a few severe storms are possible again. And I know that hasn't really been advertised, but they're there for tomorrow. Lindsay, I think for the most part it's going to be good. Savannah, hope you're doing okay. Hopefully the storms didn't keep you up all night last night. Lisa, how about Switzerland County, VV? That area, I think maybe some rain, thunder. Right now, like I said, Jefferson, Scott, and Jennings County have the greatest potential of getting a warned storm for maybe up to 60-mile-an-hour winds, and Trimble County too. I forgot to mention you guys. The way things are looking, if it does dive a little, it stays east a little bit longer, we could be looking at maybe Ripley, Dearborn, Ohio, Switzerland, Carroll, Gallatin, Owen getting in on maybe some warnings. That's going to have to just kind of be watched minute by minute, okay? Tracy, you're welcome. And then Janine's actually storm or tornado. This is going to be more of a damaging wind threat. This is not, if it happens, big if. So yeah. Paoli. Hey, Joni. Yeah, you are going to probably see some severe storms. I'm gonna go back. I just want you to kind of look at what I'm looking at here. Let's switch this back over to Analyzer. You can definitely see that weakening trend. See the bowing? And then you see this outflow boundary right here. So it is moving into an environment that it's not going to do so well. Actually, okay, yeah. So you've got the outflow boundary. And then you're starting to see some more storms developing. I want to zoom back out in just a second. But what I wanted to show you is I think... And this area here is outrunning this part of the line. So you've got a good gush of wind coming through. But yeah, Paoli stands the better chance of seeing something if it was to go severe. I just want to zoom this out again and just kind of look at this. Definitely is falling apart within the last few frames, several frames. Outflow means, when you get this outflow boundary, typically means storms are dying, okay? And when that cooler air rushes out in front of the main line, what happens is this line, it's kind of like one of those big fancy Mustang vehicles that take high octane gasoline that you got to put in the car to make it run. And what is happening is that fancy Mustang has got water going into the gas tank. And when you put water in a gas tank of a Mustang, it really ain't gonna go anywhere. So what I'm watching here is, as this line you see here on radar, right here, this outflow boundary continues to push off towards the east, it's ingesting water, it's ingesting cooler air, and this thing needs warmer air to go. So this thing will, looking here as I'm going into more of a higher res radar view, it's dying out. So that's good news. But I do think it's going to bring some showers and storms, to areas off to the east. Okay, so good news. That's good news that we're dying out. So just watching it here, this would be our only potential for severe weather, okay? Just want you to know that, if that was to occur. But it's looking like more and more this thing's dying out. So we're probably going to be good. Still the flash flood watch in effect. We got to watch the flooding potential. Okay. Yeah, this is dying out. So at this point, the severe weather threat, really starting to die out here. It may make it to Paoli, Jasper. And you can see when we're looking at Kate values, they're much lower. Brighter the color, the better. Okay, so you see down here towards Nashville, this is a complex of storms right here. Let me see if I can just do this. Let me take the lightning off. Let me take this. Let's do it this way. All right, there we go. So you've got this area, this white area right here. This is prime time gasoline for storms to go. Well, this line here is increasing in intensity, and it's going to move towards Nashville, Memphis, and produce all kinds of wild weather tonight, okay? You see, this is an area here that's kind of overworked, and it's been that way all day, and that was my analysis this morning when I woke up. I looked, and I was like, okay, severe is going to be bad down here, which it was, but there was something to kind of watch up here because we were sunny for the most of the day today. And I still can't say that there wouldn't be some storms, but your severe potential continues to lower. We had one warning out towards Lawrence County, Indiana, and flooding in Jennings County, Indiana. Really, if those storms would have gotten together, we could have had some hail threat with these with the energy that we have. But if we had higher Kate values right in here, this thing would keep going and move right in here. So the reason why I don't gotta watch it. But I think this thing is dying out and because it's just going into some not a good environment. Grayson County, Kentucky for the remainder of the night. Data suggests another line coming through later tonight, and one of them being this here. And you've got this is the tail end here. So you'll have to kind of watch that tail end part of that line because sometimes on the tail end of it, you get a heightened threat for severe. Those storms near Evansville right now are producing quarter-sized hail. When this thing dives, there could be some potential for some damaging winds and large hail with that in that area. So, okay, so we got a dying line now to the west. We have some energy around here. This line will continue to weaken as it's pushing to the east. I'll watch it here over the next little bit, but the obvious trend, what I'm seeing is they're weakening. Storms will continue down to the south tonight. So if you're down towards Paducah, Memphis, Nashville, you're prime time ready to go for widespread severe weather potential. So, and like I said, I just keep watching the radar here and seeing, watch what happens. But definitely these storms have become outflow dominant, which means they're going to have cooler air, but they will, probably towards Jasper still, and maybe Paoli still produce some gusty winds if they hold together that long. If they hold together that long, I do think that there will be a potential there for some damaging winds a little bit longer. And then towards Evansville, it looks like that area there is kind of creeped up within the last few. It looks like it's kind of more of an interaction with the outflow boundary. So, yep. And then I'm watching. I don't know if this thing's going to dive at all, really. We'll see. Okay. I'm here. I'm watching it. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this little complex out to the west here this evening. So, more than likely, going to avoid our area for the most part, from what I'm looking at. Just like I said, if you're in Scott, Jefferson, Trimble, Jennings, you stand, if there was to be a warning, that's going to be the best chance, I think, here this evening. So the rest of you guys can kind of sleep easy and get a good night's rest, and we'll watch some severe storms tomorrow. So, okay, that's it for now. Continue to keep you updated if something changes. I'll be here.